Hey guys, what is up? Austin here, aka Bowtie Guy 97, and today we're going to go over the top 5 mods that you should do to your pickup truck with your tax return money. We all know tax return season is coming up, and that is good news for the aftermarket companies that make wheels and exhaust and tires and about everything for your truck, because you just got a little bit of a bonus check there, and now you've got free money you can spend on your truck or whatever you decide to do. But now I know it's kind of a joke in the truck scene. Once you get your tax return, everybody goes and orders their wheels. Well, it's not really even a joke. People really do it. Sites like Custom Offsets, the manufacturers themselves, all are prepared for this time of the year because they know this is when they're going to get their sales boosted. They're going to be selling wheels, tires, lift kits. Companies like Rough Country, Zone, all of them are prepared to for these big orders in within the next 2 months. And more than likely, you'll join the group and you'll have back order issues. But that's not what the video is about. The video is about what I think is the top 5 mods you should be doing with your tax return if you are going to spend it on your truck. So I think that the #1 modification that most people would kind of, if you haven't already done it to your truck, is exhaust for your tax return. Now, exhaust can range anywhere from $50 to $1,000 depending on what type of exhaust system you do, whether you go full headers, change a cat back, just do a muffler, have a completely custom setup done so it's personalized to you. The variety is just endless. You can just put a muffler on. You can have true duals put on your truck. You can have headers put on. Like I said, you know, it's just, there's so many different things you can do, and a lot of people go a totally different route. You know, I just have a muffler put in here, which I'll be changing soon. But see, my buddy has went down and had full exhaust work done. He's had true duals put from the cat's back with tips out the side. So that's why I think that the #1 modification that people would do and like to do with their tax return is exhaust, because it's the most sense affordable. It's the most noticeable difference to your truck, and it seems to be one of the first things that most people do to their V8, diesel, or any type of pickup truck that you buy. Now, for the second biggest modification that people tend to do with their tax return, like I said in the beginning of the video, is wheels and tires. This is a huge time of year for the companies Fuel, Moto Metal, American Force, any and all wheel manufacturers, as well as tire manufacturers. Some people, depending on what you get back on your check, you might just put new rubbers on your wheels because you think your wheels look fine. And some people go the full package. Some people get new wheels and tires. You know, sites like Custom Offsets have really capitalized on that idea. And especially now that you can finance stuff like wheels, it allows people to put the down payment, even if you don't have the full amount out of your tax return. You can put a down payment on a brand new set of wheels and tires and make payments throughout the rest of the year on the remaining balance. And that has made it extremely easy for your average person to go out and buy $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 set of wheels, depending on how crazy you want to go and how big you want to ball for the gram. So that's why I think that the #2 thing that people spend their tax return money on for their trucks is wheels and tires. Now, the #3 thing that people tend to use their tax return money on is a lift kit. Now, lift kits, just like they do with wheels and tires and exhaust, range from very cheap to very expensive. It just depends on how wild you want to go and possibly what you are doing with your truck. Some people, in this case, for this truck, you might just go out and buy leveling keys. $50 later, the front end sets a little bit higher. You may go up to a 4, 6, 8-inch lift, and you go from $50 up to $3,000. It just depends on what size lift you want to go. And that is why I think it is #3, because the variance on the cost and the look that you can do from a lift kit is so crazy nowadays with all the different companies and all the different sizes. And the customization has gone crazy as well. If you go online and get a BDS lift, there's upgrades you can do like kicker braces, Fox shocks. You could do blocks or leafs in the rear of these trucks, and the list just goes on and on of the upgrades you can do. Before you know it, your lift kit could be thousands of dollars. Or you can stay as simple as maybe you have this same style truck and you go on Rough Country and order the leveling kit, $200. And you got it's a good look. I had a leveling kit for years. This is currently the 4-inch lift. But the leveling kit, it seems to be the most popular lift to do to trucks. And it's always kind of the starter lift if you don't have the money right out of the gate. But following Custom Offset's footsteps, the firm now offers financing on lift kits. They've partnered up with companies like BDS and Rough Country and all that. And just like I mentioned with the wheels, you can make a down payment with your tax return and pay off the remaining balance throughout the year. which then makes it very, very easy for the average person to afford to buy a $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 lift kit and make payments throughout the rest of the year, really changing the look of your truck. Now, time for number 4. The fourth thing I think would be a good mod for your truck with your tax return is lighting, and this can go for anything. Headlights, the bulbs, fog lights, a light bar. There is so much you can do nowadays as far as lighting, whether you just want to upgrade factory equipment, maybe you want to add lights like a light bar, maybe you want to do rock lights, underglow, wheel lights. It just goes on and on and on. You know, on my truck, I have the strips here in the bottom for the parking lamps. I've got all LED everything, headlights, fog lights, and there's a light bar behind the grill. Out back, tail lights. You can go LED tail lights. You can color match the housings. You can do all chrome housings. You can smoke the housings. You can black the lens. You can do so much stuff with lighting nowadays that it's not uncommon for me to see somebody that has spent, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $1,000 on lighting alone on their truck. You know, maybe you do a roof light bar. Maybe you have custom headlights built. You know, I'm just naming a small amount of things that you can do lighting-wise on your truck and set you apart from the rest of the people. Lighting has become huge, and just like the wheels and the lift, the customization is almost endless. And if you really want to shell out the money, you can have a one-off type deal with your truck, something that not most people have. So that's why I think it is number 4 on the list. Now, time for the 5th and final thing that I think is the best truck mod to do with your tax return. Now, this kind of has a debate on YouTube. Is tint a mod or not? And now you know what I'm getting ready to say. Window tint. It seems like if you buy a car or truck and you're really into the car or truck scene, even if you're not, most people do tint their windows. Whether you follow your state's laws or not, it seems to be very common for people to tint the windows. Some people go as crazy as limo tint all the way around, including the windshield. Some people go a little bit less crazy like me and just throw maybe 35% on the front windows, 20%. Try to keep it within reason. Try to keep yourself out of the eye of law enforcement, depending on your state's laws on window tint. Window tint, I think, is so common that's why I'm going to have to put it at number 5. There's a lot of things that other people do to their vehicles that some people would say before window tint, but because so many people tint the windows on their vehicle, it's really not that terribly expensive. Maybe you just need a little bit of the extra cash to finally push you over the edge to go and do it. I think a tax return money would be something that would push you over the edge to go and get your windows tinted. You can get your 2 side windows tinted for $100 or less. You can probably do all the way around your truck or SUV for a couple $100 with as dark as you want to go. So that's why I think it is the number 5 best mod to do with your tax return. So those are the top 5 things that I think are the best modifications to do with your tax return. Number 1, exhaust. Number 2, wheels and tires. Number 3, lift. Number 4, lighting. And number 5, tint. Now, maybe you have a different idea. Maybe you're planning to do something different with your tax return this season than I named off. Let me know down in the description below. I'd like to read them all and see what your plan is to do if you are going to spend your tax return money on a truck modification. So I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, check out the other videos on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do make a whole lot of videos about my truck here as well as some other trucks. Got a lot of cool content coming for you, including stuff that I bought with my tax return to modify my truck. So I figured it was a very appropriate video to make for you guys today. So I appreciate you watching. Take care. Have a great day.